Saudi Arabia, it's practically a synonym for oil wealth. But here's the kicker. This land of endless deserts doesn't have a single river. Imagine that, folks. More money than water. Saudi Arabia's story is like something out of an adventure movie. Beneath those scorching sands lies the largest reserve of oil in the world. We're talking enough oil to fuel airplanes, cars, and maybe even a rocket to Mars. This abundance of oil has transformed Saudi Arabia from a land of nomadic tribes to a global economic powerhouse. Saudi Arabia is a place of deep cultural and religious significance. It's home to Mecca and Medina, the holiest cities in Islam. So buckle up as we dive into the fascinating world of Saudi Arabia, a country where tradition and modernity collide. Let's talk oil, baby. Saudi Arabia sits on a literal gold mine of the stuff. We're talking about an estimated 16% of the world's proven oil reserves. That's a whole lot of black gold. This oil wealth has fueled the country's rapid modernization. Oil is the backbone of the Saudi economy, accounting for a huge chunk of its GDP and exports. It's like the country won the lottery, but instead of a giant check, they got a bottomless pit of crude oil. This oil wealth has brought about some incredible changes. We're talking about state-of-the-art infrastructure, world-class healthcare and education systems that rival those in developed countries. But it's also important to remember that such rapid development comes with its own set of challenges, like income inequality and environmental concerns. Still, there's no denying the impact of oil on Saudi Arabia. Beyond the oil and the skyscrapers, Saudi Arabia is a country deeply rooted in faith. This is the birthplace of Islam and home to its two holiest cities, Mecca and Medina. Every year, millions of Muslims from all corners of the globe converge on these sacred cities, fulfilling a lifelong dream of performing the Hajj pilgrimage. Imagine a sea of white-clad pilgrims, all circling the Kaaba, the cube-shaped structure that stands at the heart of the Grand Mosque in Mecca. For Muslims, visiting Mecca is a deeply spiritual experience, a chance to connect with their faith on a profound level. Medina, the city where the Prophet Muhammad established the first Muslim community, also holds a special place in the hearts of Muslims. The presence of these holy cities gives Saudi Arabia a unique position in the Muslim world. It's a country that's both a spiritual center and a geopolitical player. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Saudi Arabia's strict laws. The country follows a strict interpretation of Islamic law, known as Sharia, which governs many aspects of daily life. We're talking about things like a ban on alcohol, strict dress codes, particularly for women, and limitations on public displays of affection. These laws are meant to maintain order and uphold the moral fabric of society as defined by their interpretation of Islam. Whether you agree with them or not, there's no denying that they have contributed to a relatively low crime rate and a strong sense of social cohesion within the country. The Saudi government also provides its citizens with a wide range of social benefits, including free healthcare, education, and even subsidies on basic necessities. So, while there are definitely rules to follow, there are also perks that come with being a citizen of this unique kingdom. It's a complex system that balances strict regulations with generous social benefits. Section 5, Camels, Markets, and Modernity. Hold on to your hats, folks, because Saudi Arabia is a land of contrasts. Sure, you've got your gleaming skyscrapers and high-end boutiques, but step outside the city and you'll find yourself transported back in time. We're talking about bustling souks piled high with spices, textiles, and traditional crafts. And don't even get me started on the camels. These magnificent creatures are practically a national icon, and you can find them everywhere, from the desert outskirts to the heart of the city. In fact, Riyadh, the capital of Saudi Arabia, is home to the largest camel market in the world. Imagine rows upon rows of camels, all shapes and sizes, being bought and sold. Saudi Arabia is also making big strides in technology and innovation. They're investing heavily in renewable energy, artificial intelligence, and even planning a futuristic mega city called Neom. Section 6, Women Take the Wheel, a time of change. Now let's talk about something that's been making headlines lately, the changing role of women in Saudi Arabia. For decades, women in Saudi Arabia faced significant restrictions on their freedoms, but things are changing, and they're changing fast. One of the most significant milestones was the lifting of the ban on women driving in 2018. Women are now allowed to travel independently, start their own businesses, and even join the armed forces. They're breaking down barriers and challenging traditional gender roles in a way that was unimaginable just a few years ago. Of course, there's still a long way to go, and change doesn't happen overnight. But the winds of change are definitely blowing through Saudi Arabia, and women are at the forefront of this transformation. Section 7. Balancing tradition and progress. Here's the thing about Saudi Arabia. It's a country constantly walking a tightrope between tradition and progress. On one hand, you've got centuries-old customs and a deep-rooted religious identity. On the other hand, you've got a young population that's eager to embrace modernity and all that comes with it. It's a delicate balancing act, and it's playing out in every aspect of Saudi society, from the way people dress to the music they listen to the way they interact with each other. Take the entertainment industry, for example. For decades, public cinemas were banned in Saudi Arabia, but in recent years, they've made a comeback, and Hollywood blockbusters are now all the rage. At the same time, traditional forms of entertainment like poetry slams and falconry remain an integral part of Saudi culture. It's a country that's simultaneously looking to the future while honoring its past. Section 8. Saudi Arabia on the world stage. Now let's talk geopolitics, folks. Saudi Arabia isn't just a big player in the oil market, it's a major power broker in the Middle East and beyond. With its vast oil wealth, strategic location, and religious significance, Saudi Arabia wields considerable influence on the global stage. They're a key ally to the United States and other Western powers, and they play a crucial role in regional stability. In recent years, Saudi Arabia has been trying to diversify its economy and reduce its dependence on oil. They're investing heavily in tourism, technology, and renewable energy, hoping to secure their economic future in a world that's moving away from fossil fuels. The decisions they make in the coming years will have major implications, not just for the region, but for the entire world. Section 9. The future of the kingdom. So, what does the future hold for Saudi Arabia? Well, if there's one thing we've learned, it's that this is a country that's full of surprises. Vision 2030, the ambitious plan spearheaded by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, aims to transform Saudi Arabia into a global investment powerhouse and a hub for innovation. We're talking about mega projects like NEOM, the futuristic city being built from scratch, and a major push towards renewable energy. There's a social transformation underway too, with women playing an increasingly prominent role in society and a growing emphasis on entertainment and tourism. Of course, challenges remain. There are concerns about human rights, freedom of expression, and the pace of social change. But one thing's for sure, Saudi Arabia is a country on the move, and the world is watching closely to see what they do next. Buckle up, folks, because it's going to be one heck of a ride. Saudi Arabia, it's practically a synonym for oil wealth. But here's the kicker. This land of endless deserts doesn't have a single river. Imagine that, folks. More money than water. Saudi Arabia's story is like something out of an adventure movie. Beneath those scorching sands lies the largest reserve of oil in the world. We're talking enough oil to fuel airplanes, cars, and maybe even a rocket to Mars. This abundance of oil has transformed